How to build anything with DeepSeek-R1. DeepSeek-R1 is absolutely wild. It's a free model that you can run locally, and I'm going to show you today how to run one of the world's most powerful AI models locally, how to build anything with DeepSeek-R1, and how to automate anything with DeepSeek-R1. This is a free rival to ChatGPT-O1's model. I'll show you some of the best ways to use it today. No coding, no PhD, just copy, paste, and boom, you can build literally anything, websites, tools, automations without knowing a single line of code. And this sounds almost too good to be true, right? Like the stuff your weird cousin Dave brags about at Thanksgiving, but here's the kicker. It's free, it's fast, and it's easier than assembling IKEA furniture. No Allen wrench needed. Let's go. All right, so if you want to run DeepSeek locally so that you can build different things with it, what you want to do is go to Llama, download that, it's completely free. And then once you've done that, you're going to go to models, and you need Llama installed locally so that you can run DeepSeek locally inside your terminal commands. So what you do is select the model that you want. Obviously, some are bigger than others. So for example, we can select DeepSeek-R1, and then we can take this terminal command like you can see right here, and that just allows us to run this model locally. So as an example of that, let's open up terminal now. Then we can plug in the command for terminal, and you can see now it's beginning to download that update directly locally on our laptop. Super fast and easy to do. Now, something to note here is when you're downloading these models, these are distilled models, right? Basically what that means is that these are smaller models you can run with less memory locally and then still get the benefits of it. So for example, smaller models can be powerful too. We demonstrate that the reasoning patterns of large models can be distilled into smaller models, resulting in better performance compared to the reasoning patterns discovered through RL on small models. So basically what they've done is to fine-tuned dense models that are widely used in the research community. For example, some of these models are based on like Qwen 2.5 and Llama 3 series using R1. So for example, if we go back here, we're downloading DeepSeek 7B. It has comparable performance to OpenAI O1, which is a paid model. You can see that is actually based on Qwen 2.5 maths, right? So 7B, Qwen 2.5, that's the one that we're downloading right now. You can also get Qwen 1.5B as well. That's a smaller model that is faster and requires less resources to run locally. So that took probably about 5 or 10 minutes to download, and that is ready to go inside a terminal. And you can just send a message to make sure it works. So for example, hello, good way to start the conversation, and you can see it's responded to us right here. So now we can test it out with some prompts that we've used previously on the chat version of R1. So if you wanted to say build a tool, you can just go straight to the terminal and you would just paste this in. So we can say create a free SEO cost calculator. Then you're going to hit enter and it's going to start thinking about it. Now, what I really like about this is you do get the thoughts. It's weird seeing it on the terminal. Like it feels a little bit more of a stranger vibe, and you can see the chain of thought running here. You can basically see the reasoning and what it's doing and what it's thinking about, right? Step by step. Now, once it's thought of the whole process, like you can see right here, what you want to do from here is then just say, okay, give me the HTML, CSS, and JS for this website landing page. Then we can hit enter and you can see that it's running through the HTML right here. Now, bear in mind as well, when you're using DeepSeek reasoning, it's a logical model, which means it's going to take more time to respond. It's not, for example, ChatGPT 4.0 or DeepSeek version 3, which usually takes quite a long time to get back to you and reply with the outputs. So, which, for example, DeepSeek version 3 or GPT 4.0, these models reply to you way faster. But the thing is, the outputs are not as well thought out. It's also pretty amazing that within 10 or 15 minutes, you can get one of the most powerful AI models in the world running locally on your laptop. And I have zero coding experience. I literally just copied and pasted a terminal command and we were good to go on that. What sort of world do we live in right now? It's pretty wild, to be honest with you. So now we're going to take the HTML and we'll just test this out. If we go over to liveweave.com, we've plugged in the HTML that we got from the local model. And you can see we've just built a tool in literally seconds using this process. It looks pretty nice, really easy to build, completely free. Built it locally on our terminal, so no data going anywhere. And for example, if we put a test like, and we'll hit calculate SEO cost, the cost calculator works absolutely perfectly. Just wild stuff if you ask me. Just amazing how easy that was. Now that was a really simple prompt. We can take it to another level because obviously this is a reasoning model, so we can build stuff that's more complex, but you can see how easy it is to build whatever you want using this process step by step. So let's test out another prompt because that first one was just too easy. We're going to take this one and say, create a one-page website for the niche, video, SEO, ranking surface, make it beautiful, modern, sleek, and designed with relevant emojis, keyword equals, source context, etc. Basically, just build out a really nice landing page using DeepSeek. Now, I do like the fact that you can just go inside the chat here. You don't really have to interact with a UI. That makes things super easy. And so now we're going to paste in that prompt, and that's just going to start using its magic. The other thing you can do if you want to host this HTML file without using a live previewer is you can just save it as HTML, open it in the web browser as well. So that's another way to do this. Now it's going to start thinking about how to build out that website, and it's just coming up with all the ideas for it. One thing I want you to note here is whilst we're doing this, we can run it locally. I'm going to show you many ways to build and automate things using DeepSeek-R1 today. So you don't just have to run it locally. If you just go onto DeepSeek.com, then go to Start Now, you can start building out your idea here as well. And just make sure you have DeepThink enabled because that allows you to use R1. If you deselect that, then you will be using DeepSeek version 3, which is a faster model, but it's not necessarily good for logic and reasoning. Bear in mind, if you're trying to build stuff, DeepSeek-R1 is one of the best models you can use simply because it's got a lot of logic, it's got a lot of reason, it's great for coding, etc. It thinks things out, which you're not going to get with normal AI models. So we're going to head into and that can start building this out for you. Now, the other benefit of using the chat directly is, number one, it is also free. But number two, when you're doing this, you can actually run HTML live inside your browser, which makes it just super easy to preview the HTML. You don't have to go to liveweave.com or anything to check that out. And you can see it's building out the HTML right here. If we go back to terminal, and we'll see how we're getting on right now. So it's built out the HTML. Let's grab this. You can already see some emojis and the way that it's been built in the code. Now we're going to grab that and we're going to run over to LiveWeave again. We'll replace the old code for the cost calculator, plug in the new code, and we have the website back. Honestly, that's one of the worst outputs I've seen from DeepSeek in terms of, if you look at the colors, it's not very well thought out at all there. The rest of the page is okay, like the why choose us, bullet points, the CTA, the contact us, etc. That's pretty nice. That's okay. It's not quite up to standard. This bit is terrible. So let's see what we get back inside DeepSeek on the chat and see if that gives us better outputs. So we're going to hit run HTML and look at the difference of that, right? That's wild. So I think for building websites, I would actually use the chat. Like, it just seems 10 times better. You've got the nice emojis on there. You got the nice design, etc. That's basically perfect, isn't it? Honestly, this looks better than what Bolt previously designed for me, which number one took a lot more time. And number two, is a paid tool, right? Whereas, for example, DeepSeek, you can just grab the HTML from this, put it into Netlify, get it hosted, you got a website ready to go, really quick and easy. So for coding tools, it seems like the chat on DeepSeek.com is much better for outputs. Either way, you've got a lot of options there. Let's move on to another way that you can build stuff with DeepSeek-R1. And after this, we'll come on to automation, right? So I've shown you how to build websites and tools already. I've shown you how to get access to this for free and install it locally so you can start building. Let's talk about automations. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a DeepSeek version 3 content creator that I previously made inside make.com is actually free for 1,000 operations per month. And if we go to this automation, so the way that you're going to be using this is you're actually going to select Open Router. Now, if you're not sure how to get access to Open Router, let me show you. What you wouldn't do is you're not going to add a new module and then type in DeepSeek inside make.com because I've tested that. And honestly, the API is not very good, particularly when it comes to using the newer models, right? So the way that you want to use make.com, and I'll show you how to build these automations in a second, is via a open router, right? Now, if you want an API key, all you do is you go to openrouter.ai, settings/keys, create key, and then you can get your key like so. Now, inside Open Router, we're going to then select the model inside this module right here. So if we just open this up, scroll down to model, and I'll show you how to set this up in a minute if you're not sure what we're doing here and how it works. But you would select from the list. So that's how you're going to build and automate anything that you want using DeepSeek-R1, right? And actually, this is really awesome because if you want access to more APIs, let's say you don't want to pay for the DeepSeek-R1 model, which is pretty cheap comparatively to O1, then you can type in free in the list here, and there's so many APIs you can get access for free. So for example, like Gemini Experimental, these are like really brand new models, Meta Llama, Microsoft Phi, Hugging Face, etc. Right? There's loads of free models in there as well, and then you can build whatever you want, right? And you've got this automation ready to go. So let me show you how to set these up and how it works step by step. So basically, inside make.com, what it's doing is it's connecting multiple apps. So you can create automations and basically let apps speak to each other, right? So in this example, we're going from Google Sheets to OpenRouter to WordPress, right? And basically, we're taking a keyword from this Google Sheet, we're plugging that through OpenRouter with this prompt. So you can see it's quite an in-depth prompt. And then we're plugging that over to WordPress to automate the output. Now, I'll show you what the output looks like in a second. I honestly don't think that it's good for creating content versus, say, other models like Claude. But let me show you how you can set any of these automations up. So what you would do is you would go to add a new module. Then from here, you're going to select whichever app you want to connect. And bear in mind, the only limit that you have here is your own creativity, right? So if you come up with an idea, you're like, I want DeepSeek-R1 to manage my emails. All you would do is you would connect Gmail, like you can see right here. You would say, watch my emails. Then you would add a module. So for example, you would add OpenRouter, like you can see. To do that, it's pretty simple. What you would do is right click, add a module, type in OpenRouter, connect your API, then select create a chat completion. And then from here, you're going to select DeepSeek-R1, right? And then you can take all the information from Gmail, plug that into DeepSeek, and then you're going to add a new Gmail connection, which is create a draft. And you can just draft the email based on the response from OpenRouter, right? And basically when you're setting this up, you're going from Gmail, you're basically feeding in all the information on your emails from Gmail. Then you're sending that over to OpenRouter. How do you do that? You just take the content from the Gmail automation. So for example, the email body, everything else. So here you've got the HTML content that you can take, the subject line, etc., who the email was from. And then you would select user, and inside the content as well, you'd be like, okay, an email response for me based on my latest emails, right? And then you would feed in the information from here. After that, you're going to send it over to Gmail. You can actually, you can get DeepSeek to come up with the subject line, the content, boom shakalaka. You just run that. You set this up to run every 15 minutes and the automation is just live and kicking, right? That's basically how it would work. So once you've connected all the apps that you want to plug in, and I've got other videos on this on YouTube if you need like a more in-depth explainer, then you can test this out, right? So for example, we can click to choose this manually. This will take my spreadsheet, look at the data inside the spreadsheet. So for example, like the keywords, so like Spring Hill SEO, then it's going to plug that through OpenRouter. OpenRouter is then going to send that to WordPress and create a draft blog post. Let me show you how this works. So for example, we're going to hit run once, and we just need to plug in the API key first. All right, so you get your API key and you're going to plug it directly in here before you run the automation. We'll hit save on that. And now you can see that the automation is running nicely, right? So it's taken the keyword from the spreadsheet, and you can see the keyword right there, Newark SEO. Then it's running the completion through OpenRouter. And bear in mind, like I say, you can automate anything, you can connect this to anything. And even though the API is so brand new, it's already connecting to make.com because of OpenRouter, right? Then it's create the outputs here, and then it's send it over to WordPress, like you can see. So let's check what we got on WordPress directly. So now you can see inside WordPress, we have that article drafted. We can just proofread it, edit it, and then publish it, right? What's really cool about this is you can actually format in HTML, so you can create like your own blogging tool with custom prompts, uniquely personalized to you, your brand, your business. Then you can get DeepSeek to actually draft the content directly, and the content itself is actually pretty nice, right? Honestly, we're at the stage now where AI content is better written than humans if you have the right prompts, right? For example, you see here it says why Newark SEO isn't just about ranking higher, it's about getting seen by the right people. Think about it, someone types in best piece of Newark into Google, and you can see here I was just using like really personalized case studies and examples to be convincing in the content. And you can also see here, there's no like negative AI fluff words or anything like that. If you also check inside here, we've got the internal links from our website. So it's linking to other pages directly on the website. And these are not hallucinated. These are like perfectly done with the sitemap that we plugged into the automation. And yeah, pretty amazing stuff, honestly. If you want to get the blueprints and everything from that, just check out my free SEO course. Link in the comments. There's loads of stuff on like DeepSeek automations and AI agents directly inside my free SEO course. But you can see how easy it is to, number one, connect DeepSeek-R1 inside make.com for automations. And then number two, create something very high quality that you would normally pay for, right? For example, a blogging tool, you might be paying before, I don't know, if you go back like 12 months, you might have been paying like $200, $300 a month for a tool like this. Now you can build your own. Make.com is free for 1,000 operations per month. And then DeepSeek's API is very, very cheap. So just to recap so far, I've shown you how to host DeepSeek-R1 locally and build tools with it. I've shown you how to build websites directly inside the DeepSeek chat with R1 completely for free. And these websites look pretty nice, as you can see. Then additionally, I've shown you how to automate and connect DeepSeek-R1, any sort of app that you can imagine, and build basically your own SaaS tool in minutes using this process. Plus, I've shown you proof that actually works and creates something fairly nice. And by the way, if you're wondering how much this cost me, so I topped up $10 last week. And if we look at the usage here, we can see that DeepSeek blog post we just created with the automation cost us 0.0, right? So basically extremely cheap. And this is an open source model as well. And you can get access for free. Now, another way to get access to this is if you get Visual Studio Code, which is completely free to download. Then what you're going to do is head over to extensions and make sure you have Client installed. So if we download Client, just make sure you install it. And then once that's done, you can see the Client icon over here. Now, inside Client, if you go to Settings and then select Open Router, plug in your Open Router API key. You already know how to do that, but we'll grab one. Go back to Visual Studio Code, plug that in here, and then just select the model that you want. Now, obviously, if you're using R1, you would just search R1 in the model, drop down, select DeepSeek-R1, as you can see, hit save like so. And I've got this set on auto approve. This kind of Client and Visual Studio Code are kind of like a no-code editing tool, similar to Cursor or Bolt, and it creates some really nice stuff. So let me show you some examples. So, for example, we'll take this information like so, go back to Visual Studio Code and say, create a website for Julian Goldie's SEO agency. Here's my details. And then what we're also going to do is just take some information about me so that we can customize the project. Now, if you have clients or you want to get more customers, one thing I was speaking to an SEO Elite Circle member of ours recently about, using this to build custom-made landing pages for his potential clients. Then he hosts them, sends them to the client. You know, they take like 2 minutes to build with these sort of no-code AI tools. And obviously that separates you from all the other agencies or service providers you're trying to compete with, right? Really powerful way to just customize things and get better at basically use this as a sales tool, right? So there's so many opportunities, not just for websites, not just for tools, but also for sales, for prospecting, for keeping customers happy, etc. You can build all sorts of cool custom stuff. I mean, for example, I bet if you have a lot of customers, if you have a lot of clients, giving them free tools you've made with AI, that's what we do for our clients. They absolutely love that. It's a great way to keep them happy. So we're going to take the About Me information as well from my website. We'll just plop it down there. We're going to hit enter like so. Using DeepSeek-R1, this is using the API request here. The other cool thing I like about this as well is you actually get the API costs as you go along. So you get a lot of visibility in terms of how much this is costing you, what are you building, etc. You can see the code as well as it's being built out, which is super useful. And Client is such an underrated tool, like it's so powerful. And whilst we're waiting for that to load, let's talk about use cases for all of this, right? Let's make it very, very practical. So first thing I would say is like, what can you use R1 for? Well, creating apps, creating a website, creating a blog, creating local SEO sites, affiliate sites, building tools, automating basically anything between Make.com and R1, and then also creating content for your website as well. So let's go back to Client now. We'll see how it's doing. So it's still building out the project. You are going to find that projects typically take longer if you're using the R1 model. And now you can see that's finished. It did take a few minutes to build that. You can see it literally costs us $0.07. Super cheap. I mean, to get something like that done, it would take normally weeks. It would cost a lot of money as well to get an agency to do that for you. And we've got the agency website ready to go. Like you can see, looks pretty nice, nice and clean. Information about me, I can just insert a picture here. Information about our services, plus a nice little contact us form. And it's all fitted to the brand colors as well. Super simple and easy to do. The other great thing about Client as well, like it will actually execute the command so that you can just click a button. It will open up the HTML in your browser. Boom, you're ready to go. All right, so thanks so much for watching. As I've shown you, you can get access to the chat for free and build things with DeepSeek. You can also use DeepSeek-R1 locally. That is also completely free. Make.com is free as well. And the API is very cheap, but you don't need that to build anything with DeepSeek. You can just use the chat or local. Additionally, if you want to automate stuff completely for free, then what you can do is get Make.com's free executions, plug in Open Routers, which is free, and then use the free APIs directly in Open Router. So what I've actually done is I've plugged this directly into an SOP step by step, so you know exactly how to install it locally, test it, etc. Some different prompts, and additionally, you can see how to automate tasks. We'll create the SOP for that. On top of that, you also find 100 different use cases for productivity, coding, content creation, business marketing, etc. If you want to learn how to use DeepSeek-R1 and how you can use it step by step for whatever business or whatever cool stuff you want to build. Now you will get access to all the notes from today inside my free SEO course, link in the comments description. Comes with over 222 lessons on AI SEO, including keyword research, content, link building, traffic diversification, AI agents for free SEO tools. And if you scroll down to the SEO system section like this, then go down to DeepSeek, you can grab the video notes right there, boom shakalaka. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars on autopilot in sales, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We'll give you a free SEO domination plan, so you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions that you have. So one-to-one, you can ask us any questions. You can learn the best link building strategies for your website, plus how to quickly outrank you and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.